Hey musical architects, the right vocal sound, what is it? Of course there's more than one right answer, but maybe I can help you find and define your vocal sound a little bit better in this video. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to Musical Architects. My name is Marc. In a previous video we looked at backing vocals and how they can help the lead vocal shine by creating interesting dynamics and embellishing the track. But what about the vocal sound itself? How do we find the right vocal for our song? In this video I want to show you two examples, one very natural and one more processed. And maybe in between somewhere lies your vocal sound. Let's check it out. Now what the hell is a right vocal sound? There are probably, like anything else in the production, more effective ways and less effective ways. So what we're trying to do is make that most human element, the vocals, the one that the listener connects the most to, because we are humans listening, the best possible way to pull the listener in. There are vocal sounds that help you as a listener to get more into the song. They're going to help the listener to understand the lyrics better, to feel the emotion of the song. There definitely are advantages of having the right vocal sound. So with a wrong vocal sound, you could lose the listener. Every style has a different nuance. If you think about a folk song where the lyrics are really important and it's very subtle, you need to hear all the lyrics very clearly. Now, I think about a grunge song where it's more about the energy, maybe angst, maybe aggression, or something like that. Do I need to hear every word? Often it's just more about the impact and the timbre of the sound of the vocals. Now, think about a dance pop song. It might be shiny and bright. Or think about an indie song. Our vocals might be much more dark and dull. So the way you dress up your vocal has a huge influence on the emotional response of the listener. A good idea is to go to the kind of music that you like in that style and listen a little bit more closely. Feel it and then analyze afterwards, like, why does the vocal sound make me feel a certain way? Alright, how do we start this business of creating a vocal sound? You could say that there are two sides to any artistic endeavor. There's the creative side and there's the technical side. On the technical side, we want to start probably with the best possible signal, the best possible recording of a voice. That includes a good microphone or a sound card, capturing the signal in a pure form without much noise around us into our recording device, probably our computer, so we have something clean to start with. Now we have something we can work with. We might still have too many frequencies in one or the other area, so we might have to reduce the bass on a vocal, or bring up the treble, or find a certain frequency and get rid of it with an equalizer. Once we get our frequencies under control, we still might have differences in the dynamic range. So maybe soft parts get lost in the mix, and when we make it louder, the loud parts are too loud. But no problem, a compressor can take care of that. A compressor simply takes off the biggest peaks and reduces them by a certain ratio, and so everything can be a little bit louder in the vocals or in any other instrument as well. That not only can create clarity, it makes the vocal more upfront as well and might change the sound a little bit. We also might get rid of certain frequencies we don't like or certain sounds, cut out things manually, or add plugins like de-essers. These can help remove annoying sounds like sibilants, S's, F's and things like that. Now that we have an overall good vocal sound, we can start adding personality, character to the vocals. How do we do that? We can do all kinds of things. Mostly time-based effects. We can add reverbs. We can add delays, echoes. We can also use pitch correction very sparingly to correct vocals, or we can create whole new sounds, as I will show you in a minute. This is where the fun starts and the creativity takes over. And there is no right and wrong here, but again, only what is the emotion you want to evoke in the listener. Let's take a look at a few examples. I've chosen this example because I did a couple different versions of the same song. And it started with a very pure acoustic version, which is probably the kind of song where you have the least amount of effects. You almost want the effects to be not noticeable, but just there to make it a bit more open. Let's take a listen. Don't hold your it may take a while, and life is uncertain. A slightly layered but nevertheless pure and acoustic sound where the effects are more in the background than obvious. If you take a notepad and write down the emotions that you think your song evokes, then you probably have a great entry point for the vocal sound you're looking for. So if it's pure, authentic, sincere, thoughtful, melancholy, whatever the word would be, that's a very different vocal sound than if you say big, confident, cocky, angry, whatever the emotion is. That probably is your entry point to the vocal sound. Let's listen to the lead vocal for a second. Don't hold you. Turning off all the effects. It's a very simple vocal. As we discussed before, I'm going to equalize it, always cutting out the low end that I don't need. In this case, even the high end that makes it too shiny and bright. I keep it a bit on the dark side for the verse. Don't hold your breath. And add a compressor or limiter. Don't hold your breath. Make it more even dynamically. And then I dial in a few reverbs via buses. And there might be a short, under a second reverb, a second and a half, and a longer reverb. And I'm just bringing up the sense until it feels right in relation to the music. So it's often a blend of 2-3 reverbs at the same time. 'Cause it may take a while, and life is uncertain. One harmony slightly behind the lead. Don't hold your breath. Not too far from the center. And 2 higher ones. And you notice they're slightly panned and behind the lead vocals as well. And maybe a little bit more reverb so they go further back. Don't hold your breath. In terms of pitch correction, I keep it super natural. You can hear some notes are a little flat or sharp because I want to keep it really real, as long as it doesn't bother me and sticks out. Same thing in the second verse, except that I'm going to add a few more vocals to make it evolve a little bit more. Just let the future explain this current situation. But they're all very natural, except there's quite a bit of reverb on them in this case. But we can also create very different emotions by the means of using different effects and stacking vocals a certain way. Here's my more electronic version. Don't hold your breath, 'cause it may take a while. This version is not so concerned about the purity and sincerity of a lead vocal by itself, but more about the dreaminess that you can create by stacking vocals, pitching them, and using the right effects. So for the more alternative electronic version, if you will, I started by taking the acoustic version and mixed it down into a vocal stem. So all the harmonies and leads are in one stem as a bass. Well, I sang 2 more leads that were a little stronger, and also so I could layer them. Double them. Don't hold your breath. Together over the acoustic version's vocal. Don't hold your breath. Makes it a little bit more defined, a little stronger, a little bit more confident, if you will. But I was still missing some richness. So here's where the fun starts. First, I added some harmonies with a vocoder, Logic's vocoder here in this case. You can simply play harmonies on the keyboard and then sidechain it to the lead vocal or any other vocal. Don't hold your breath, 'cause it may take a while. And because I liked what I heard, I wanted to make this even stronger. So I came up with another idea. There's a much overlooked plugin here in Logic called Vocal Transformer. And other plugins do the same thing. You can basically artificially tune a note up and down. Don't hold your breath. I copied my lead vocal to a new track, added a vocal transformer, and then automated the pitch I wanted to have them on. For the first one, I wanted a pedal note. I clicked on Robotize and dialed in F2. so it stays on the same note. The second one I tuned differently and then changed the tuning. Don't hold your breath. And with automation recorded that change. Same with the third vocal, which was a little higher. Don't hold your breath. This way you can create harmonies where you can't sing, or you can create also a different timbre than your voice normally has. 'Cause it may take a while. I created a quick mix of these 3 vocals once I had them. Hold your breath. And I put them all together. 'Cause it may take a while. They create a nice richness around the lead vocal. And life is uncertain. So tuning vocals doesn't mean that everything is tuned per se and everything sounds like a T-Pain song from back in the day. But you can tune backing vocals to create whole new textures, which for me is where the fun lies. Let's add a couple instruments and listen to them with the vocals. Let's add one by one. First, lead vocals. Don't hold your breath. The old vocal harmony blend. The 3 vocals from the Vocal Transformer plugin. And the vocoder. Don't hold your liar. And if you have a notion that auto-tune or pitch correction is a bad thing, stay open-minded, because it's just a tool and you can do whatever you want to do with it. It's again how you use it and what emotion you want to evoke in the listener. So it is helping the song. What works for you? A dreamy, affected vocal sounds with pitched vocals and lots of delays and reverbs? Don't hold your breath. Or a more pure acoustic vocal sound, untuned with just some reverb? Hold your breath. Try it out and let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching. So I hope this made sense and you picked some good ideas for your own tracks. If you want to dig deeper, feel free to check out my Udemy course, link beneath, where we write and produce a song from the very beginning to the very end. In any case, have a great day, stay creative, and thanks for watching.